Hey, wifey. My name is Delyce Collins. I am the founder of The Art of Marriage, the creator of the Hubby Hacker Tribe. I am what I have coined a first generation wife, aka a hubby hacker. I come from a single parent, single mother household. That lifestyle, that upbringing created a certain unique set of complications in me being a wife, and I am here with information to help those of you in the same situation as me who are having the same hangups and the same complications, the same miscommunication and gaps in understanding between you and your husband because of this simple fact that you were raised by a single mother. What that created in you and what that is creating in your marriage. I am here to uncover blind spots, give you some direction and some instruction as to how to create the marriage of your dreams, how to get your husband to be all that you have imagined that he can be just by working on yourself. And that's going to make room for him to become the man that you hope he will soon be one day. He is in there, he's inside of there. So I wrote some stuff on my board here that I want to address in this teaching. This is my 2 sentence formula to having a functional marriage. We live in a day and age where self-work and healing yourself and working on your marriage is easier than I'd say it has ever been. And some of you may argue, well, it's the most complicated because of social media and all of the influence that comes through our cell phones and through our TVs, and it's complicating things, and pornography and this and that and Beyonce. Whatever your excuses are as to why your marriage is more complicated. And the reason I say it's more simple and you have more is because you have more access today to teaching and instruction than we've ever had in history. So on one hand, we could look at the internet as this evil thing that's disrupting our marriage, the phones literally in between us and our husbands, and we just want them to put them down and look at us and talk to us. Or we can look at it as this phone can be a tool to find the coaches that we need to gather the information, to do the internal work, have them hold up the mirror to point out to us what in us we could change so that we can start to live and experience this life the way it was intended to be experienced. And that's Eden. If you feel kicked out of Eden, there is a way back in, and I am one of those paths because of everything that I have suffered, everything that I have been through as a first generation wife. My name is Delyce Collins. Again, I have been married for it'll be 26 years here in a couple of months. My son is 25. He's been married, I'm gonna get this wrong, like maybe 7-8 years. Don't fuss at me for not remember how many years you've been married, Jaden. I am a grandmother to 2 boys, a soon-to-be 6-year-old and a soon-to-be 3-year-old. And everything that I'm teaching you is my real life. I didn't read this in a book somewhere and then just decide one day, oh, I'm going to share about this topic. This is actually the topic I have been running from, and it keeps getting literally like thrown in my face that this is what I am meant to do, and you are the woman that I'm meant to be talking to. So if you are a first generation wife who is struggling in your marriage, my name is Delyce for the 3rd time. That's my name. Look me up. And the book I wrote is called Growing into a Mature Marriage from Kindergarten to College. Here's an extra large exaggerated copy of the front cover of that book. It is available on Amazon. I've created some frameworks. I'm continuing to dig and go in deeper and build out more frameworks to make this easier for you so that you can jump from that pit of pain to the pleasure peak. And hopefully I can take you through that valley. I say hopefully because you will have to choose who your teacher is going to be to eliminate your pain. One of the frameworks we teach is mentors, not mistakes. That means you don't have to live and learn. You can get some information from another person, hear about their pain, and then decide that you are going to enact their principles, their instructions to bypass that pain. In simple terms, you don't have to touch the hot stove to believe and know that it's hot. You don't have to get burned and go into the ER with a 3rd-degree burn to have learned the lesson. That is a lie. That is old school teaching that you have to live and learn. Oh, my kids just have to experience it and find out. That's not how we raised our son, and he jumped ahead of everyone around him, his peers. He's been married since he was 18, running his own business since he was 18, and living out on his own since he was 18. He's never moved back in with me, and he lives on 13 acres of property, and successful, works with his wife and homeschools his children. And that is because this is my real life. These are my real principles. This is actually what I believe. This is actually what I live. So with all that being said, I'm going to give you the 2-sentence formula to building a successful, thriving, functional marriage so that you can be wealthy physically, financially, spiritually, emotionally. Being wealthy comes first in here before anything physical can come to you. My previous video, I talked about the external world that you live in is just a manifestation of your internal world, what's on your heart and what's on your mind. And God wants his principles and his teaching written on our heart and our mind for us to tap into what he wrote there from the beginning, so that we can access Eden right now here on earth. You don't have to die to experience heaven. So 2-sentence formula for creating a happy marriage and truly being a happy wife. Happy wife, happy life, happy spouse, happy house. So my first sentence here: discover what mature married people do physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, and do that. Second sentence: discover what immature married people do physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, and do not do that. Now you might be thinking, Delyce, that is an oversimplification of a very complicated life. Awesome principle for me to give to you right now is that the simple is what is truth and what is beautiful. It's the lies that are complicated. And even the lie that complication is where truth is just a complete distortion, a complete perversion of the God that we serve. Another principle maybe you have heard is if you really understand something, then you can explain it to a kindergartner. You can explain it in simple terms. You can speak to people and not at them or above their heads, because you really do get it, and you don't have to use technical jargon to express yourself, so that you can reach more people, so that you can reach your husband so that he can understand what you're saying. You can use words that are effective and powerful and create change in your marriage just by speaking it, because you are made in the image of God, and just like he spoke his earth, his world into existence, you do the same. So watch your mouth. All right. 1, discover what mature married people do physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and do that. So what are some examples? Let me start with physically. What do mature married people do physically? They exercise, they eat right, they avoid doing things to their body that bring in poison, from overeating sugar to being addicted to getting tattoos. What do immature married people do physically? Well, everything that I just mentioned, right? Everything that is going to bring harm to your body and your mind and your spirit. That is also going to affect your self-esteem, your emotions, your mood, which is obviously going to affect the way that you it's going to affect the way you do marriage, and it's going to affect the way that you parent. It's going to affect you in your career. It's going to affect everything. What do mature married people do emotionally? Well, let's see. A mature married person has self-awareness. They think before they speak. They speak strategically, which is one of the Hubby Hacker codes in my Hubby Hacker system. There's 4 distinct breakdowns of the codes, and then underneath those 4 headlines, there's even more codes that fall into each subject. So the codes are communication codes, growth codes, respect codes, and intimacy codes. And when you learn these 4 codes and then the subcodes that fall underneath them and learn how to apply them, your marriage will be everything that it could possibly be and more. Years of heartache and pain and crying and almost giving up. to get to this point where I have codes to hand to you. What do immature married people do spiritually? So they're probably not tapping into their spirit man. Maybe immature people don't even realize that we are spirits inside of bodies, not bodies with a spirit. And what I mean by that is we were spirits first. We will be spirits forever. A spirit cannot be born and it cannot die. Your body is temporary. And if you don't connect to your source, your spiritual source, the God that created everything and created you and chose what body to put you into and what family you'd be born into, if you don't connect with him, like a fish out of water, like a cow not in a field of grass, you will be dying. Death to your emotions, death to your finances, death to your marriage, death to your relationships. And a caveat to that is a mature person may have death in their relationships because they have matured past where the people they were attached to are, and they can no longer keep those relationships. So there's a difference there. And sometimes, unfortunately, that can apply in a marriage. You just married the wrong person and there is no good material, there's no good foundation to scrape away the BS and get to what's good in that person because they're just that broken or they're not wanting to work on themselves at all, and you've given and done everything that you can and you've applied the hubby hacker codes, which I know you haven't because you don't even know what they are yet. In those scenarios, it's time to move on and grow and change who you are so that you can attract a person at another level. That is another powerful code, if you will, or principle that I have discovered through my turmoil, my pain of trying to figure out how to make my marriage amazing, is that we attract who we are. And so when you realize the person you're married to is your fault, it helps you to truly do some introspection and start to work on and have God show you all the things in you that can be changed. Because as you start to work on those and change those, it is just a principle that the person you are with has to level up, because now you have leveled up and that's what you're reflecting. As I just mentioned, the other scenario is God takes that person out of your life. But if you're doing everything in your power to truly be righteous, just means right standing with God, not self-righteous, just right standing, righteous, then your marriage is going to work. That's the God that we serve. That is his truth. Discover what mature married people do financially. So if you study successfully financial people, and you only do what they are doing in the area of finance, and you avoid what poor people or immature people are doing in the area of finance, you will not even have a choice but to succeed. So again, sounds like an oversimplification, but simplicity is truth. Having a simple life that is structured down to habits that are effective and concentrated and powerful actually gives you more time. It restores your time. It restores the years. That's why I don't look old enough to be any of the things that I've described. God restores the years and, DNA. He also can change your DNA. That's a whole nother video. So the 2 sentences to change your marriage today. Hey, wifey. Hey, you see it on my hat? Hey, wifey. You hear me? The 2 sentences for you to enact to bring about the changes that you need in your marriage, in your life, so that you can enjoy this experience called being a human, are right here. And they are not an oversimplification. Simplicity is beauty. Complication, that's another realm we don't even want to deal in. And you can do hard things. There are things that seem complicated, like working through all of your stuff to get to this point of clarity, but you can do hard things. You can just one bite at a time. It's the only way to eat an elephant. Discover what mature married people do physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and do that. Discover what immature married people do physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and do not do that. Stop doing that, and you will fall into the place you are meant to be in. Again, my name is Delyce Collins. I am the creator of The Art of Marriage. I am the founder of the tribe called Hubby Hackers, where we use codes that I have designed in the 4 categories of respect, communication, intimacy, and growth. And we learn those shortcuts, those cheat codes, if you will, to apply into the game of life so that it can feel like a game and we can just watch ourselves level up and collect more gold coins. I love you, wifey. Come and join me. You can go to DelyceCollins.com, and from there you can be led into different channels. You could watch YouTube videos I've made. You can listen to podcasts. My podcast is called Married to Myself. You can purchase my book from DelyceCollins.com. That bar at the very top of the website says click here to order Growing into a Mature Marriage from Kindergarten to College. You can have a link to my school, SKOOL. The Art of Marriage is what we're called in the school. Join us and become a hubby hacker. There are classes for you to take in the classroom tab of the school app, and there is so much more to come. I will be unveiling more opportunity for you to grow, more opportunities for you to come in to this new mindset and create the marriage that you were intended to have. I love you, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, wifey.